This is April's video for Aquarius. I asked the cards, what is the current situation here? Or what kind of push are you feeling? We all kind of got a push in this Aries season, starting with the new moon that happened at the end of March, pulling through to now. So that's what I asked the cards here, what the push is and what's helping or hurting you in the situation. Here I asked what's in your rear view mirror or what have you cleared? And this would have been the energy of 2022 up till February-ish of 2023. I asked what your higher self wants you to manifest, which is up there at the top. And then what needs to grow in order for you to manifest what your higher self wants you to manifest. And then what is the eclipse bringing you? And the eclipse would be this week, actually, on April 19th. So let's start off with what is this push? There is something that that you have an opportunity to do, something that you're passionate about. It's a new opportunity, and it may be competing with current priorities, but you're feeling very strongly that you want to get working on this. However, there's some kind of conflict around it, and that conflict, it can be a conflict like an inner conflict. So maybe you're having some anxiety about your skills or your ability to complete it. Or it could be that somebody's giving you a lot of pushback on this particular thing. Or it could be a competing, like you have competing priorities, but you really want to do this. There's a strong pull towards doing this. And it does involve, it does involve you addressing the conflict. Whether it's an internal conflict, it's like an anxiety that you have in yourself, or it's a conflict with another person, or a competing energy, like a competing project. Part of the push is, one, that you want to do this thing, but two, you need to address whatever the conflict is around that. So let's look at what you have going in the past in your rearview mirror. Basically, you were working on patience. Oh, God. That's funny that I just said that, because I have the Aquarius that I know, that I can think of right now. He's actually sitting in jail, and he wrote to me once, which I thought was hilarious. He's like, okay, I'll just be sitting here working on patience. That's what he was working on last year. Hopefully you're not in jail, but you were working on patience. So there was an energy here where, you're not exactly making the money that you want to make, or you don't have the relationship that you want. But there was something that was keeping you from having that was karmic, that was out of your control, in other words. And so that brought you great strength. And you had to work on your patience. But that's in your rearview mirror. You cleared that. You've learned your patience skills. Right now, patience is not really what you're working on, because you've got the opportunity. So the opportunity's here. It has come to you. But now you're working on conflict. So let's look and see what your higher self wants you to manifest here. Okay. So your higher self does have this, of course, this could be a pregnancy. It can read like that, but it also could be a project that gets birthed through you, some kind of passion project, or have you asked yourself what are you meant to do in this lifetime? It could be even something like that as well, but in order to manifest this, you have to address some both inner and outer conflict. And your ability to address the outer conflict may actually come from an inner conflict. So it's like you can't stand up to somebody because you have something going on inside of you that is blocking you from standing up to somebody. You maybe don't want to hurt their feelings, or maybe you don't know all of the information, or it could be a lot of things, but you could have some kind of core wound script about yourself that is keeping you from meeting. So your needs may not be getting met, and you're not articulating that. That also could be a situation. You also could be all up in your head with anxiety and self-doubts. So that's what needs to be tackled. There is a need for you to open your heart. This is a open your heart and let your passions flow. So what is it that you really want? Are your needs getting met? And if not, you need to acknowledge them, and you can't acknowledge your needs without feeling the deficit. So you got to open your heart to experience those feelings, to realize that the needs aren't being met, and then you can address, if you need to articulate that, you can, but sometimes we have to address our core wound scripts, or norms that we have around conflict. It could be a lot of things, but there is some kind of block that needs to be released in order for you to manifest what your higher self wants you to manifest. So let's look at what needs to grow. Okay. So if there is, this is a clear conflict situation. All right. So we've got the walking away card. We've got the stand your ground card, and we've got lies and deception here, and we've got judgment. Wow. Okay. So, if you're in some kind of conflict situation, this is a walking away from the situation, or at least communicating, what you're having a problem with. This judgment card is here because if the person is lying and deceiving and doing you dirty, their karma will come to them. It's not up to you. It's not up to any of us to dish out consequence or karma. That's way above our pay grade. But sometimes we just have to duck and get out of the way and let karma handle things. There is a walking away situation here. There is lying and deceiving in the situation. You could be dealing with somebody who's trying to gaslight you. Particularly if this conflict is caused by you wanting to do something and somebody else doesn't want you to do it, and they're trying to manipulate you into not doing it. Does that make sense? And so there's some gaslighting going on, or some outright lies, outright manipulation and deceiving. Another way to read this is that you are deceiving yourself. So if you're going into your head and you're having anxiety and you don't think that you can do this because you haven't addressed doubts and fears that you have about yourself, you're lying, you're telling yourself lies as in the forms of excuses so that you don't actually accomplish this, or that you self-sabotage yourself from doing this. So let's look at what the eclipse is bringing you. And this is coming up real soon. Okay, so this is a walking away situation. This is a standing up for yourself, stand your ground, communicate what, the problem is. So if you have an inability to see so if there's some lying and manipulation and there's a possibility that you don't see it. So what but what the eclipse is bringing to you is the light. You'll be able to see it, and then you can speak your ground, speak your mind, and draw a line in the sand. Essentially, there is some draw a line in the sand energy to So you can have rely on community support to help you in this time. And then this goes back to whatever this is. So whatever this is that you want to do, it's something that wants to get birthed through you, and the community is going to help you get back. Either the community can help you get back to it, or you can dive into this project, you know, as a distraction from what, well, actually I wouldn't suggest this, but this may be an interpretation. You can dive into this project as a way to distract yourself from the hurt of having to walk away from something. Not the best strategy, but that is an interpretation. So there is something that you're walking away from. There is some conflict here, and there is a need for you to stand your ground, for you to stand up for yourself, and for you to recognize your needs. And if your need is to do whatever this is, then that's your need. And, you know, if somebody else is trying to control you, you need to, if you can't stand up to them, you need to ask yourself why you can't stand up to them. And that would be up here in this manifesting what does your higher self want you to manifest? Well, your higher self wants you to look at your darkest fears. And that could be in how you're handling conflict. Because, you know, there's lots of cards here of somebody doing you kind of dirty. And that's not fun. Sorry about that, Aquarius. All right. Well, I hope you liked your reading. This is for April. I'm going to be doing more readings. I also do personal readings, and I will put my email in the description so that you can email me if you want more information on this.